What's going on, my Flappy family? It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. Candace Parker ended up dropping some big facts on First Take, man, talking about resentment on younger players from older players and retired players. She had a great dialogue about this. So we are about to get into it. But before we do that, y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up for your boy. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 25.8. So if you can help me out with that, I highly appreciate it. And don't forget to get in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about this. Let's get it.
Candace, I'll mention Caitlin Clark from the standpoint of her being a sensational young player who's brought a lot of popularity to the WNBA, and I'll leave it at that. And get to a more micro question, and that would be this. When we look at the WNBA, whether we've speculated about resentment or whatever it is, ultimately it comes down to the fact that there were an abundance of women in the WNBA doing tremendous work on behalf of the WNBA and the game of basketball, and you just sense that folks were feeling an absence of appreciation for what they had done and what their collective contribution was to bring the WNBA to where it is now and where it evidently is going. Can you speak to that collective frustration that some may have been feeling, and whether or not you think it's something that's being overcome as you all thrive and move forward and continue to promote and uplift this league?
You know, it's so crazy to me because I'm asked so many times if I'm resentful in any type of way for where the WNBA is right now. My job was to leave the game better than I came into it. You think Cheryl Miller is resentful for me that I had a league to play in? No, she's being the mentor that she is, and she's supporting and loving and sitting courtside cheering on Juju Watkins. And I'm doing the same for Caitlin Clark and all the women in the WNBA. You know, I think that rivalry is super important. I think conversation is super important. You know, I tuned in when Kevin Durant went back and played Russell Westbrook and they bumped shoulders and everybody was tuned in. But I want to keep it within the lines of the game. And I think that's what's the most important. Now everybody has a Twitter finger. Everybody can have reach to, the WNBA and make comments. But really the key is let's keep it about basketball. That's my thing. And when we do that, then we're able to really grow the game and what it represents. There are some talented players that have been in this league. But now, because of visibility, listen, I still know the Dominique Wilkins. I still know, all of those players, the Dr. J's and all that stuff. I don't think they're not salty that MJ came along and grew the game. I mean, that's what it is. And so I think that the WNBA as a whole is in an amazing place. Now it's about business to me. It's about taking care of business and making sure. I would like to see, and I'll say this in the CBA, I would like to see more roster spots because we can't have 11 or 12 women on a team. You got to, lean into the player growth and player development.
Now, talking about some jealousy going on with Michael Jordan, I think Wilt did have a little jealousy going on with him. But all in all, when she's speaking on rivalry, I agree. I think rivalries are important. But, I think the loudest mics or the loudest people in the WNBA space love to focus on race. And that's the wrong rivalry you want to paint. Like, it's more so white and black instead of good player against good player, who's going to win. That's the best rivalry, not this black fan base and this black player against this white fan base and this white player. It doesn't make sense. And, the loudest mics, like I stated, are the ones that's race baiting. Not even bringing up the names, but all the people that I'm seeing that are tied within the WNBA media, coaches, all type of things. They are very resentful of Caitlin Clark, and I don't know why. It doesn't make sense when you have somebody that's doing what she's doing for the WNBA. And I'm like, Candace Parker, look, you shouldn't feel that way. The same way she brought up the idea of Cheryl Miller supporting her, that's how everybody should be. But it's more so of they want to paint the narrative that it's a white and black thing going on. And now that toxic energy is spilling over to people who don't even watch the games. So now they feel like they are a part of the league just because they know or feel like they know what's going on with the race thing. Like, cut it out, man. You all want the league to grow, but you all saying keep it about basketball, but y'all not keeping it about basketball. I don't get it. And I'm not speaking on Candace Parker. I'm talking about some of those ones who I brought to the forefront of the channel. You want to keep it about basketball, but you're the main ones talking about race and stuff. So it just doesn't make sense They're doing a disservice for the league when they come out and start talking about race instead of the talent of these players. I don't care what anybody say, man. The Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark thing is not a rivalry. It's not. Look, I don't get why it's a rivalry, honestly. I don't get it. I don't feel like it is. It's something that happened in college. They had a Rookie of the Year run for, 1 year, and now it's over. They're not in each other's way right now. And honestly, I feel like that's what makes a rivalry. Now, I do believe two different positions can create a rivalry. You have the Magic and Bird. They played two different positions. They were a rivalry. You got LeBron and Steph. Two positions, a rivalry. But the thing that both of them have is that they were in each other's way. They were in each other's way to win big trophies, big moments. That's what create the rivalry, in my opinion. So the WNBA, in my opinion, is doing a disservice to the league when they keep bringing up, well, Caitlin Clark is going against Angel. They had like 5 games scheduled against each other. Why? That's not the story that you need to be trying to paint here. The story is get Sabrina against Caitlin, right? Let's get some guard rivalries, some Kelsey Plum against Caitlin. Like, that's how you start getting these other players involved. But y'all just focusing on Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark the entire time. It's like, y'all doing a disservice, man. Allow the fans to talk about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, but y'all need to be doing a better job getting player against player, Fee against Asia. That's a rivalry that people need to see. Fee against Breanna Stewart. That's a rivalry that people need to see. So from the words of Candace Parker, I think some of these players that retired, some of these legendary players, some of these WNBA broadcasters, y'all need to focus on respecting the young talent, right? Not throwing shade towards them because you didn't have this opportunity. Don't show resentment. You need to be supporting these young ladies. You don't need to be fabricating false stories. You need to be promoting these women the way that the game is supposed to be promoted. There are some legends out there that's been talking highly of the new talent, of what's going on in the WNBA now, but we know those few that's in the sports media, the WNBA media, and the veterans that have retired out of the WNBA that are doing a disservice for the league, man. And to wrap it up, I like what she said about the CBA. Like I stated, man, they need more roster spots. It's cool to expand. It's cool to have multiple teams being added to the league, but how are you going to manage without those roster spots? These women's legs are getting tore up left and right, all right? So they need help, man. They need more people. They need more people, man. But anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel about what Candace Parker had to say about the resentment from older players on new players, younger players. Did you agree with everything she said, or do you disagree with some things? Let me know in the comment section. I love y'all. Y'all keep it smooth.